Hello and welcome everyone. I just want to talk to you quickly about enlarging the capacity of your mind. You can call it thinking deep. And then this is a point where you consciously sit yourself down and make the decision to think deep, to actually have a deep reflection, a deep meditation about yourself, your life, your destiny, and everything you do generally. But this time I am going to be figuring it down to destiny, life, career, generally. That's what I'm going to be talking about. Your mind, your thoughts, it's what gives birth to the actions of your life. And so there are people who just do things sharpishly. They just find themselves in a cycle, like in a circumference. And that is because they have not actually taken the time to sit down to think, to recreate. Now, available options, I just want you to notice down. Note this, that available options, like options are available and many to those who think a lot. So when you are a great thinker, you think a lot, you enlarge your mind to carry a lot of thinking. There are options. You don't lack what to do, because at that point where you sit down, many things begins to come into your head. The God who created us is omniscient, is omnipotent. He can be everywhere, and then he can be everything all at once. And so he has given us that nature. And so the human mind too cannot be underestimated. You cannot underestimate what can come out of you, what you can create, what you can develop. But you must intentionally sit yourself down. Now let me tell you a quick story. I heard this from Joshua Talena of the Shepherd House. He talked about Archbishop Benson Idahosa, who traveled abroad, and they called him and they said, "Your mom is dead." He said, "No, my mom can't die. God didn't tell me." They said, "No, your mom is dead." And he said, "No, my mom is not dead. Put her on my bed, I'm coming." And then they kept her on the bed. The first miracle was that the mom didn't stink. She was okay. She was fine until he came back, but colors changed. She was black. She was looking dead actually. And then after 2 weeks of the meeting, he came back and then went straight to his room and then said, "Mom, I'm back." And then the mom replied, "Son, welcome." And everybody shouted. And the person I was telling the story said to me, he said, "God has no measure." He said, "God is too big." He said, "It depends on the capacity of your faith to carry God." Now that is the point. There is no limit at all to what you can do. The limitation you have is your mindset, is your thought. So God has given us options. God has created us to do exploits, to become great. And I think the difference between you and that person you call a mentor, or that point you want to be, is the thinking inside of you. If you can create it, if you can develop it inside of you, you will see it happen on the outside of you. I am a living witness. Many of the things that happen around my life, I first of all sit down. When I think them to a point where I begin to behave them. And once I begin to behave them, it just naturally begins to happen around me. So I'm going to be stopping here. Next time I'm going to be talking to you on practical actions on the thoughts of your mind. So take the decision to sit yourself down and to think about your life, think about your academics, think about your family, how to make it bigger and better, how to make your career bigger and better, how to make your business bigger and better. All those things should be things you do consciously. So when next I come your way, I'm going to be talking to you on how to take practical actions, because when the mind is developed, when fire is too concentrated in the inside of a person, it can burn the person, it can burn the thing. So when your thought is overwhelming, what do? Is what I'm going to be talking to you next. But before then, I'd like you to have come to that point where you have think about the thing, think about your life to that point where you now have what to do. Then I cannot tell you the next action on how to do it when next I'm coming your way. So great thinkers are great leaders. It is this thinking that drives you into looking for books to read, that drives you into actions to take in line with that has come into your mind. Are you getting me now? So anytime I think about a thing, I begin to look for materials that can help it out. I begin to look for action steps, what to do, who to meet that can bring it out. So I think your whole life first starts from the inside of you. Your whole being, your whole thought starts from the whole thing about your life starts from the inside of you. And so make the conscious decision to be a great thinker. It's what patterns your life. It's what tells whether you're going to be great or you're going to be small. On YouTube, it's Joshua Okewo Inspirational. On Facebook, it's Joshua Okewo Inspirational Quotes. So go there and then you watch all our subsequent videos. And then when next I come your way, I'll talk to you about practical actions on the thoughts of your heart. See you.